The newly expanded and renovated East Washington branch is now serving patrons following its grand reopening on March 18th. This Carnegie Library, which was recently placed on the National Register of Historic Places, underwent a $2.4 million renovation that included a 16-unit computer lab, improved access, and a new children's program space, all in a bright and open environment. Highlighting the reopening event was the dedication of the library's community room in the name of the late Stephen Howe Webb, a longtime neighborhood resident who was an author, theologian, and professor. His wife, Diane Timmerman, offered comments about Stephen's work and his neighborhood connections.
This honor is fitting for Steve in a million ways. Don't worry, I'm not going to elaborate on all of them. I just want to share a few of them with you. Steve loved libraries. The majority of the books he wrote were published by Oxford University Press, and they ranged in topic from Bob Dylan to rhetoric to vegetarianism to Mormonism to gift-giving and much more. Steve was one of the country's most prolific theological writers. And to accomplish all of that writing, I actually believe he was also one of the country's most prolific readers. He had a profound love of books, and he spent a good portion of his life in libraries. And he assisted many a librarian in building their collections. That was one of his favorite things to do. Steve also had a deep love for the Near East Side. His childhood at Inglewood Christian Church profoundly influenced his entire life. And it was here, actually, in this neighborhood where he truly felt most at home.
Attendees were also treated to a presentation on the history of the East Washington branch by Dr. William McNeese of the Marion County Historical Society.
You can see that there's these two bookish figures that I mentioned earlier. These are by Alexander Sanger Nebo. He came to the United States as an immigrant, comes from Estonia, arrives in the 1890s, and he's responsible for these figures, as well as other figures around town, including down at where the Indiana Repertory Theater is today, St. Mary's Church, Crispus Attucks High School, and other areas.
The East Washington branch renovation is one of a series of capital projects identified in the library's strategic plan. To learn more, visit ndpl.org/renovations.